Hey guys, happy Fire Friday to you. FYR stands for Fund Your Reason. And that is our personal mission. Our personal mission is to help you find your reason, to understand why you're here, right? And then to fund that reason, particularly using the EXP Realty platform, agent attraction, and the revenue share opportunity. That is such a massive, massive opportunity here at EXP. So this is part two. This is part two. 5 ways to become the go-to resource for agents in your market. So last week we talked about the first two. The first one is knowing your market, understanding the agents that are in your market, the production levels that are there. How many agents fall into each category of production levels, from new agents up to the highest producing agents, and understanding what the mix is of agents in your area. What's the personality of agents in your market? I found that every market is different, right? And so you have all these different styles that are out there. Understanding what is the style of the agents that are in the market where you're looking to attract agents, and then understanding the typical needs of agents at each one of those levels. To serve, you must first understand. We talked about that last week. And so seeking that understanding and knowing who that audience is really number one to become the go-to resource. The second one is once you have an understanding of the agent mix and style and everything else, and kind of the needs of the folks in your market, now understanding how to provide the tools, resources, information that they need to succeed. And we talked about the different levels for new agents and levels 2, 3, 4, and 5, needing things like new agents needing skills and business basics and confidence, up to your level 5 top producing agents who are seeking to give back. They're seeking significance, leadership, to develop their leadership skills and to develop some kind of an exit strategy of some sort, whether it's just time leverage or exiting, selling their business, or providing some other kind of leverage altogether. So those were the first two steps. So now we're going to talk about steps 3, 4, and 5 today. And step 3 is really just a piggyback off of step 2. All right, in step 2, we identified those specific needs and the things that you can provide that are specifically of value to agents at different production levels. Okay, so step 2 is now the follow-up action. It's great to identify it. Once you have the information, good. I know the different groups. I know the different production groups. I understand them. I understand the style. I understand how they're looking to grow their business. I understand typically what they're looking to do. And they may be things that are not working for them where they need help, or they may be things that they're working, that are working, but they're looking to accelerate, or they know that that's their next step. I've stepped out of phase 2. I'm now in phase 3. And so now I need to go tackle these things. They may not even really be looking for something. And I think that's important to note, that not every agent thinks they need help. Right. So it's like going into a neighborhood of a large single family home neighborhood and knocking on all the doors and telling them all that they need to sell their house and move. Right. They may not all be looking to move. They may not all be looking to change what they're doing in life or that sort of thing. What typically drives change is a change in their life, or a new awareness to something, right? So I may not be looking to move, and then I drive through this community. I'm like, wow, I've never been in this community before. These homes are beautiful. This is a really great spot. Maybe I go visit a friend who lives there, and I'm like, man, all your neighbors are awesome. My neighbors, I don't really talk to them. Your neighbors all hang out, and they're super fun. Houses are great. And then there's a house that comes for sale in that community. You look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, that's not as expensive as I thought. We could go live there. I wasn't thinking about moving, but awareness of a new opportunity. Okay. So when agents are in different phases in their business as they're growing their business, or they're entering a new phase, right? Then they have new needs, and there's new opportunities. They may not know what's out there for them. Okay. They don't know what they don't know going into these new phases. So when you present something to them, when you present an opportunity to them, when you present a tool to them or a resource or something else, they go, wow, that's really great. I didn't even know that that was there. And you keep coming from contribution, and you keep giving them access to these tools and resources. And pretty soon they're coming back to you, right? It's like Pavlov's dog, right? They go, wow, every time I've been trying to work on something in my business, you've been able to offer something. You have access to all this stuff. Why are you so smart? And you say, well, you know, Some of these things I've learned growing my own business, and I'm also really blessed to have an amazing group around me. I've got, or our company provides tons of stuff for us, et cetera. And they're going to say, tell me more. Okay. So that just coming from contribution, giving stuff away, just giving it, giving it, giving it. Let me help you. Let me help you. My goal is to help you succeed. I know where you are in your production. I know what you need in that level of production. And so I'm just going to start giving you that stuff. I'm giving it away, so that again, developing that relationship. All right. So it could be tools that you use. It could be stuff you stumble into yourself. It could be something someone else has shown to you. It could be a tool that's provided by EXP, but that you have access to, or through your group, through the Fire Partners community. Could be a new AI tool that you started using, and it's been super beneficial for you. It's made the quality of your work better. It's shortened the amount of time you have to spend working on certain things. And you say, hey, let me share this tip with you, let me share this particular GPT with you, or something like that. So it could be any of those things. It could be a resource. It could be a person that you found who's really good. Here's a lender that I found that's great. Right. I really recommend them. They've done a great job. They have some really cool programs that are super helpful. And, with the rates being a little bit higher right now, here's some things that they can do, et cetera. Right. So it could be, hey, I've got a great handyman. If you need someone to do some of this work for some of your listings, great photographer. All right. You're just coming from contribution and taking all the tools, information, resources, and connections that you have, and you're giving those things away. All right, so that's step number three, because in step two, we identified all of those things for each of the groups. Now you need to do something about it. You need to have a plan for it, and you need to have an understanding. Here are my contacts. Here's my sphere. Here's my list of agents that I would love to be in business with, and I really want to help them out. Now I have a specific list of things that I can give them, and now I'm just going to start offering it, right? And they may, or you don't have to force it, at them and just say, here, use this. But it's like, hey, I have a bunch of this stuff. Hey, would this be helpful? Hey, I just came across this from our conversation the other day. You mentioned you were working on this, and I thought this might be helpful to you, right? So you're just putting it out there, putting it out there, putting it out there, putting it out there. Um, and they'll see that you're trying to help them, right? There's no expectations, not asking for anything in return. I'm just coming from contribution. So that's step three, action items following up on step two. Okay. Step four takes that a step further, because as you are coming from contribution and you're working with a particular group, you may find like, hey, for me, it's step the people in level three, right? They're looking for expansion. They're looking to expand their business. They're looking to create some leverage. They're starting to get really busy, and they're looking to get their finances in order, right? Like I've been able to wing it to this point, but now I'm doing enough business that I really need to run it like a business. I need to have some structure. I need to, separate from my business credit card and my personal credit card. I need to set up get my taxes filed quarterly, and all of those things, right? So there starts to be a little bit different. So that's in that level three, and you say, okay, great. That's a particular group that I'm finding that I'm working with that group a lot. I have a lot of folks like that in my local market. It's a great group to be talking to, and I can help this group. I have something to offer. Fantastic. If that's what you identify, as the group to help, now you're coming from contribution. You're providing resources for all of them. Here's a great accountant. Here's a video that I watched on how to minimize the taxes that you pay, and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm handing stuff out to them. I'm talking to them about leverage. I'm showing them about hiring. We're talking about hiring your first assistant, maybe about hiring a VA or something like that. Okay, so you're bringing all of these things to them, and you've got a group of them. Well, why not bring them together? These don't all have to be one-on-one discussions. It's way more leverage for you, number one, to talk in a group, but also they're going to learn from each other if they're all going through the same stuff together and their businesses are in the same area. What's really amazing is when you get a group of agents from all different brokerages, right? And they all come together, and you say, hey, let's do a mastermind together. Now, if you're farther ahead in production than them, then you're leading these, right? You have an opportunity to say, hey, you're a group of my friends. You're all kind of in the same place in your business. I'm talking to each one of you about this. You guys could really, I don't know if you know each other, but I'd love to introduce you guys, and you guys could really help each other out. And you've asked me this question, and you've asked me this question, and you've asked me this question. Why don't I answer it all together? Let's come together, and why don't I take you guys to help you grow through this level in your business? And usually you're going to find that people are very open to that. They want help, they want resources, they want to be able to grow their business, and having a group of other peers that are in that place in their business is typically something that's very helpful, both in their business, but also just emotionally to know that you're not alone in any challenges that you're facing and you're seeing how other people are going through it. Real estate is odd because it's such a social business, and yet it can be very isolating at the same time. And we tend to be social beings. And so it's something where we kind of crave that community. So creating that community that brings people together, that serves the group. And again, these people could be people that where you're producing more than them. It could be people that you're producing. These are my peers. We're producing at the same level. We're all going through this together. Or it could be a group of people out ahead of you where you say, hey, if I'm going to build a group of people that I'm going to be hanging out with, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want a group of people who are out producing me, who are farther ahead than I am, that I can learn from, but I can help by being the connector. They're all out there again, being the lone wolf, and I can help I know them all. The value that I bring to the organization is connection. I bring relationships that I have. I have these trust relationships with these great people. I can bring them all together. I can help create a format for this, and then they're going to bring the knowledge and the information, and then I'm just going to sit there and sponge it all in. Oh, and by the way, through the Fire Partners community, through all the awesome agents at EXP, you have access to some incredible high producing agents and leaders, coaches, instructors, and everything else that you can bring into the fold, right? You can have them come in, whether if they're local, have them jump into one of the meetings. If they're not, have them Zoom in. Even the top leadership, CEO, and everybody else will be happy to jump into a meeting from time to time just to bring some value and share their perspective. So you have access to a lot of people who are ready, willing, and able to jump in and help. So that's something where you can also bring to the table if you're working with people that are producing at or above your level. You can continue to bring in additional resources. Okay. So these could be masterminds. These could be gatherings. It could be a happy hour, right? It doesn't matter. It is just creating community, right? And the more people that are in there, the varied groups and brokerages that they're coming from and everything else really creates something robust and diverse where there's a lot of perspectives, and it takes away some of the fear of joining the group. It's like, hey, there's people from all over the place. So just come in. Everybody's welcome. What we're focused on is our production. What we're focused on is building our businesses and building great lives, right? We talk about funding our reason. So how do you help other people fund their reason? And it doesn't have to be with changing brokerages. Like, hey, I'm not looking to move brokerages. I really appreciate it, but I don't want to be recruited. And you say, this is not to recruit you. This is for us to be working together, right? So, yeah, it's true that sometimes people that we work with say, hey, I'm working with all this stuff. I'm learning all this stuff from you. You have access to these tools I don't have. And so in their case, it makes sense for them to move over to EXP, but that's not a requirement here, right? What we're after is having us work together, support each other in business growth, and have fun, build community. Okay, so that's step four is once you're starting to feed in those tools and resources, right? All the stuff you identified in step two that you're now taking action on in step three, as you're doing that and building those relationships and coming from contribution, then it's like, hey, why don't we hang out? Hey, I'm talking to all of you about the same thing. Why don't we all get together? Now you're creating this community. You're creating a little bit of culture around it. You're creating those patterns and habits of getting together. You're creating trust, deepening trust in those relationships, and you're building cross relationships with other people as well. This is of value to your business, regardless of revenue share or agent attraction or anything else. This is something that is good to do. Building strong relationships with other agents in your marketplace. If you're not focused on doing that, you should 100% be doing that. It's way better to have a good relationship in advance of being in a transaction with an agent that maybe goes sideways. Maybe the clients are having an issue, right? And that when you know the agent, or sometimes it's just, hey, there's a couple of offers coming in. I happen to know this agent. They're amazing. And I know if they're saying X, Y, and Z that they're going to take this through to closing. All right. Um, Now the last one is you have for today, you've got the follow-up actions, right? Taking the action steps on coming from contribution. Then you have building a community. And the last one is then to invite them into your inner circle or your network. So it's like, okay, I've got this community now. we have a group of people, I'm building relationships and everything else, then you can start to one-on-one, not blanket to your entire community necessarily, right? But now you're finding people where, hey, we're starting to have some really good conversations. This person really gets it. I really think because you don't want to prescribe something when you don't know what they need, right? So up to this point, you probably don't know enough about them, their business, their goals, what they're struggling with, and everything else to really prescribe any kind of solution for them. But once you have offered them the tools, you're seeing who's taking advantage of things and who's not, which types of things they're taking advantage of, what things they're coming back to you with questions or other things that they may be looking for. And then as you build community with them and you build relationship and you build trust and you really have an understanding of their business, then you can say, hey, I would like I would like to introduce you to one of my partners just from the questions that you've asked and the things that we're working on and everything else, you and I were talking about this. We're working through these things in our business. This person has really been a tremendous help to me in my business. They're, just an awesome human. You're going to edify this person and, why there's a person that this person needs to get to know. Like, hey, you're in real estate. You need to know this person because they're going to help you. And just having a relationship, like it's one of those things where you go, hey, you have an opportunity to meet so and so. You got to take it. If you can get in a room with them, then you have to do this. Let me tell you why, right? This is what they've done for me. This is what they do for others. This is why this person is awesome. This is why this is someone I think you would really hit it off with, or I think they can really be a benefit to you because they've been a huge benefit to me. That now you're bringing them into your network. Okay. And this is where you have that third party validation, that third party edification. They're going to reverse edify, right? They're going to edify you. It's like, wow, well, if you're a friend of so and so's, then you're a friend of mine because I really like and respect them, right? And I know that they hang out with great people because like attracts like. So, they're reverse edifying back to you, right? And then there's this relationship and they come in. And so this all comes down to who do you know? Now, a really important part to step five. If you're going to bring people into your network, right, and make those connections, you have to have a network. Okay. So if you have not been building your network, if you have not been building those relationships, then now is the time to start doing that. Who do you have access to? You might go, well, I don't really know anyone. I don't really have access to anyone. You do, right? You just have to be purposeful. What you focus on expands. You have to be looking around for those things, looking around for those people, asking those questions. And you would be surprised at people that you think may be not approachable just because they're so well known or they're such a high producer or they're so successful or they're just so busy. You'd really be surprised at how much that group looks to help. Remember, level 5 agents are looking for significance and leadership, right? That's what they crave. They've gotten to a point in their business and their lives where they want to give back. They want to develop those skills. That becomes more important than just building success. They already have the success. And so you are actually giving them an opportunity to stretch and exercise and build their leadership muscles and provide significance and to give back. So they're actually looking for it. So it's kind of like the attractive person at the dance that you're afraid to ask to dance because you think everyone's asking them and they're standing there by themselves. Okay. So these leaders and productive agents are looking for ways to give back. And they're humans like everybody else. They have egos, they have feelings, they have everything else. When someone else comes to them and says, hey, I I know you're probably really busy, but I really respect you. I respect what you've accomplished. I respect how you conduct your business. I respect how your attitude, how you act, or whatever it is, right? And I was wondering if you know you might be willing to help me out, right? I'd love to learn from you. Start to build those networks, start to bring in those mentors. Now, many of them you probably already know very well, and you already know that they're willing to help you. Your sponsor, whoever, all of the different partners. So look around your entire organization. I know for our organization, the Fire Partners community, we have hundreds of people in the community, and many of the people in our community are current or former leaders and executives, regional directors, managers, teachers, coaches, top producing agents. And our group is filled with people like that who I know have just huge hearts. They're really great people. They join the Fire Partners community because they are on the same mission to help other people fund their reason. And so you have a group full of those people that are there to help you. And so now your job is to get to know them, to let them get to know you, to show them when someone's a leader and someone's goal is to help other people succeed, they're looking for people who want to be helped. I always say that we want to save the people that are swimming towards us. So if somebody's not coming to me for help, if someone's not coming to me for resources and support and information and everything else, then I'm not necessarily going and seeking them out and saying, hey, do you want my help? Hey, do you want this? Right? We're offering it. We put it out there. And then if you want it, come get it. Okay. And so go out there and have those conversations, introduce yourself, look at all of the people that you have access to, make sure you're connected with them. Make sure, one of my favorite stories, we have an awesome agent on our group, Kyle Lounsbury. He was brand new licensee, brand new to EXP. And, he said, hey, I'm all in. I'm going to go hang out where people who are producing are hanging out. So we had a big mastermind event down in Puerto Rico. And he's like, yep, I'm a brand new agent, not making money in real estate yet and everything else like that. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to invest in my business. Invested the money, goes down to Puerto Rico and ends up running a couple mornings in a row with the founder and chairman of the board for EXP Realty, Glenn Sanford. Right. So there he is. He's like, yeah, we had, a long time together where we talked about business, we got to know each other. So, and, you know, now Kyle has a relationship, right? A friendship with Glenn where he knows him, they recognize each other. He could call him and talk to him, and Glenn's gonna go, oh yeah, hey Kyle, how are you? Right. And so that's the kind of stuff, and that's all the way at the very top. And that sentiment permeates the entire company. You have access to everybody. And so those are the people where you go out there, you build the relationships, and you have access to those people. Now, if I have a particular agent who, right, I've come from contribution, been helping people, I've been providing access to tools and resources that I have access to and that I use or that I know about. Now I've created my community, and inside my community, I have a couple people that I think are ready to go to the next step, and I want to have that conversation with them. Now I have a choice of people. I have a selection of people that I can go to. So I'm going to find the one who I think would really blend well with this person. The personalities would match together, and that this person has information and experience that would be beneficial to the person that I'm talking to because I've developed that relationship with them. Now I'm going to make those connections. Again, has nothing to do with joining EXP necessarily, right? It is just going, hey, in my mission to help you succeed, I've provided the stuff for you. We have this now that we have this community, we've gotten to know each other, and I would like to kind of open the door to give you access to some of my secret sauce, which are the people that I know. And I've got one person in particular who I think you need to get to know. They're going to be super beneficial to you, and they're awesome. Okay. Now that person is also going to come from contribution. They're going to answer questions. They'll help. They'll provide, what they, access to what they know, selling real estate, building their business, whatever it is, creating leverage, technology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And then that person will also be able to softly open the door to joining EXP where you're not making that push. That person's going, hey, why aren't you with us? It sounds like you're doing all the same stuff. You guys are really good friends. We'd love to have you over here. Why don't you come over? And they go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Right. And then they go with you, right? Because you're the one that brought them into that opportunity. Okay. So that is bringing them into that network, making sure you have a network so that you're prepared to do that, building your network. The bigger you build that network of resources and people you have access to, then the more people you can solve problems for by making those connections, and you become the connector. You're now the go-to person because you're providing them access to tools and resources and information and solutions that they need for where they are in their business right now. You're so intuitive. You know what they need and where they are, and you're bringing them those things. Like, how did you know I needed that? Right. And then you are bringing those people together and you're becoming that connector in that way. And you're building community and helping people succeed and feel like they belong to something. And then you're giving them access to top talent and you become that go-to person. People want to hang out with people that they feel can help them get where they want to go in life. That's the secret. People follow people who they believe can help them get where they want to go. Become the person that can help them get where they want to go because you're being purposeful about understanding them, understanding their needs, building that relationship, coming from contribution, connecting them together, and then connecting them with your resources. If you are doing those things, the people you want to be in business with will want to be in business with you. I guarantee it. All right, guys, good luck. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great, happy Fire Friday.